Let's tap in to see the messages that you need to receive at this moment in time. You're receiving reconciliation, and you are receiving our card that is asking you to take care of your mental health. So Spirit is saying, okay, first things first, let's put this to one side for a moment. Take care of your mental health, okay? Because we're entering into the season of Mercury Retrograde. And in the season of Mercury Retrograde, this is when blasts from the past come in. This is when people, exes, okay, chapters that you thought you had closed start to want to reopen again. So Spirit is saying, when you are grounded, when you are centered, when you're in your power, when your mental health is good, you'll be able to assess any invitations for reunions, reconciliation, without you having to rush into anything, with you putting yourself first, because you've been exercising self-care and self-love. You haven't been outsourcing the love that you need to give to yourself to someone else, because you now understand that by giving the authority to someone else to love you, when you don't love yourself, when you don't have the respect, the self-respect for yourself, when you give that power to someone else, this is when you unintentionally invite abuse, okay? You unintentionally invite narcissists. You unintentionally invite situations or people that want to control you. But when you are in your power and invitations of reconciliations come in, you don't rush, you take your time, and you consider, what do I really want? Does this bring love? Does this put my mental health at risk? What does this invitation really mean? And what does it want from me? Because sometimes invitations of reunion is not necessarily about people wanting to be with you again. Sometimes apologies that come in is not necessarily from a good place, but rather some people see that you're a doormat. Some people always see that you're an empath. You always forgive, you always forget, and you want to move on with a clean slate. And so some people will keep on coming back, repeat offenders, doing the same thing over and over again, because they know that your heart is always opened. Little do they know that in their absence, you started closing your heart and you started working on yourself. And now that you're in your peaceful era, now that you're good, now that you're enjoying the silence, now that you're enjoying the me time, you're no longer just willing to accept anyone to come into your energy to interrupt your peace. So our tarot cards are going to elaborate even further on the message that is here. But be mindful and careful during Mercury retrograde time, because this is the time when the past rears its ugly head most of the times, and we get pulled in with that energy. We accept apologies, empty promises, and when the season of Mercury retrograde is gone, so do the promises. And we're left feeling empty, we're left feeling betrayed, we're left kicking ourselves, because deep down in our hearts and in our souls, we already know how this story is going to end. So an invitation of reunion, when someone wants a reconciliation, you're like, well, wait, give me some time. I'm going to sit on this. I'm going to sleep on this. I'm going to take my time and see what my spirit says. See what my guides say, my higher self. See the advice that it's giving me about this situation. So you're no longer rushing into anything, but you're prioritizing your mental health, because it's taken a long time to get where you are, and you are no longer allowing people to come and destroy what you really worked hard on repairing, on restoring. So as we get our tarot cards, okay, I want you to drop the heart emoji in the comment section below, because Spirit is saying to you, you're on a healing journey. And the healing journey that you're on, not only is it prioritizing your mental health, but actually, it actually liberates you. Because when we are operating at our highest self, this is when we start stepping into our self-worth, into our power, and we start demanding more. We start taking space. And when we do that, guess what happens? The money follows, the respect follows. But you understand that you have to go first and everything else comes in. So we've got 2 cards on the table, 3 cards on the table. Okay, so interesting. Very, very interesting. So the 10 of Wands, okay, is indicating that, let me get this card. When this situation, however this situation is playing out, remember, this doesn't just have to be a romantic situation. This can be friends. This can be family. This can be anyone or anything that we have in our hearts, including even our work, our jobs. But Spirit was saying that there was a lot of expectations. There was a lot of burdens that you had to carry in this situation. You were expected to show up even when you were breaking. You were expected to show up even when it was inconvenient. People took advantage of you. And you kept on carrying that heavy load. And for some of you, this person or situation just left you carrying that heavy load alone. And you just have to navigate. You just had to get through it. You just had to keep going. And Spirit is saying to you that for some of you, maybe you have felt that you waited for a really long time for this person to come back. You waited for a promotion. You worked and worked for nothing. And you were expected to work even more. More workload was put on you. But you were never compensated for your time or for the toll that this took on your health. And the more waiting you did, eventually you realized that you had to start taking care of your health. Maybe for some of you, you actually had a health scare of some point, of some kind. You realized that you could not just keep burning the candle from both ends. And you waited for that promotion. You waited for that offer of a reconciliation. We need to talk. You waited for that apology, but it never arrived. But instead, what arrived more was you realizing that you cannot keep on waiting for people. You cannot keep on waiting on empty promises. And then you started prioritizing you. You started injecting some self-love. You started healing. You started doing the things that you loved. And in that moment, there was like an epiphany that happened. There was like an aha moment. A light bulb went off in your head, in your heart, in your soul, in your inner being. And there was a sense of you saying, enough is enough, never again. And as you did that, this is when this energy comes back to test you sometimes. Are you really valuing yourself like you say you are? Have you really done the healing like you say you are? And as the test comes in, do you jump up straight away, answer the call, reply to the message? Do you just jump straight away? Or do you keep them waiting whilst you consult your higher self? Once you are consulting your inner wisdom, whilst you're asking your guides and your guardian angels whether you should entertain this reunion. And you don't rush, you take your time. You take your time. And then at the right time, when it feels right, when you feel that you've received divine information, this is when you give this situation an answer. So definitely there's a no fucks given type of energy around you, because I feel that you've just run out of fucks to give. Okay, and you're at that point like, you can wait. You kept me waiting for so long. You can wait. Even if this is a job situation, maybe you applied for a job for like a long time ago, and maybe you even sent emails to say, hey, is there an answer? Is there, even if it's a no, it's okay. I just need an answer so I can close this chapter. There just definitely is a feeling of you waiting and waiting for something, of being in limbo, of not being able to move forward. Or this is a relationship, this is an apology, this is, you waited for that DM, you waited for that message, you waited for that call, and it never came. And eventually you chose you. And so Spirit is saying that for some of you, this is a current situation that you're experiencing. And for some of you, this is an experience that is coming in the near future. So you have the energies of the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is saying, ultimately, it is going to be your decision about what happens next. Do you accept this apology, this reunion offer? Do you go for a reconciliation? Or do you say no? If it's a love situation that you're dealing with, I'll be very mindful, because of the Three of Cups still indicates like a situationship, a third party situation, a betrayal that is there. If this is family that is wanting to have a reconciliation, after you've consulted with your guides and your ancestors, you'll be able to know what you need to do next. You'll be able to understand what direction you need to go in. But sometimes people regret hurting you when they feel your absence, and they feel that this time the energy is different. They will come back just to see if you stand in your resolution or if you fold and give up like you always do. So the decision is yours. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and comment the fire emoji in the comment section below. I'm going to see you in my next reading. It is a goodbye.